Right, let's start today's session. The last lecture of DJANGO, we were discuss about step-by-step installation process of DJANGO and setup of DJANGO project, right? By following these steps, like installing virtual environment, by creating a folder with the name DJANGO 4pm, and after that, we create our own virtual environment that is called virtual env. Yes, yesterday recording not in full. Mr. Others, it's not possible right now because I said these are the demos yesterday and day before yesterday, today, all are demos, right? So once we complete today's demos and after enrollment of this course, for all the enrolled students, you will get video access. I'll make it this all three videos in the folder so that it will be accessible, not right now. Okay. Yeah. Now next here we create virtual environment and we have activated and installed Django framework, and to check the version, this is django-admin version. We created Django project 4pm and move towards 4pm project folder and run server out. And finally, we have successfully launched this Django project in Visual Studio Code editor also, right? So first let's open Visual Studio Code. Visual Studio Code it is. And it's not your project. Recently, on which project I work, that project is open, but you know that how to open the project which already created. So click on File menu in Visual Studio and open folder. In the left hand side, let's go to the location where your project folder saved. I saved in this C drive users computer name, and the folder name is Django 4pm, but don't select the folder and select folder, okay? Inside this folder, you have a Django project 4pm, right? Yeah. Double click on it and then Django project 4pm. This you have to select and select it. It will be open directly in VS Code, Visual Studio Code environment. Okay. So left hand side, there is a Django project 4pm. We don't have any application. Okay. We have not created any application so far, only project. That project I open in VS Code, and by default, every Django project setup integrated with SQLite3 database. That's what we are noticing, that db.sqlite3. And if you expand, there are so many files are there. So asgi.py, asynchronous gateway interface, settings.py, urls.py, wsgipy, web server gateway interface. We'll come to know this all files and all slowly one by one. But to run this server, you know that go to the terminal. How to go to the terminal? There is a right hand side toggle panel. Click on it. But you are not in the virtual environment. Look at this. Still, we are in the C drive environment. To activate virtual environment, // myenv / script / activate. Okay. So every time you must and should do this activation of the virtual environment. Once you activated your virtual environment, then you can start run the server. Do you want to run the server? Python space manage.py run server. See, sir, a run server is a command which is it is required to run server. Python space manage.py. Manage.py is a py file. It's having main method actually. I'll show you manage.py what is there in this. Why every time we are generally using Python space manage.py run server means because manage.py file is a main file which is having main method. Now we are getting the link starting development server 127.0.0.1 port number with 8000. This is IP address. And once I click on this follow link, you will be able to get the result installed worked successfully. Congratulations like this. Okay, fine. So let's go back and notice this. You have 18 unapplied migrations. There is a warning. Okay, your project may not work properly until you apply the migration for the applications, admin, authentication, content types, sessions. Okay. And they are saying run python space manage.py migrate to apply them. It is saying. So what is happening here? First time when we create Django project, there will be some built-in applications. So what are the built-in applications? Where do you need to check built-in application means? In the left-hand side, there is a settings.py file is there. So this is the important file settings.py. In this settings.py file, don't do edit, don't do any changes, please. Okay, this is very important. Settings.py file is the most important file. If you do any changes, at least you should be in a position to remember that changes again because you have to modify it. So don't do changes unnecessarily. Look at this in the settings.py by default under installed app. There are so many applications installed. Admin app, authentication app, contents type app, sessions app, messages, and static file. These are the built-in applications. Along with these built-in applications, we have to create our own applications. Okay. Yeah. So they are saying that we have already built-in applications. In these applications, some tables are there. Tables means database tables. Every application is having some built-in tables, right? That's what in the terminal, there is a warning called you have 18 unapplied migrations. Your project may not work properly until you apply the migrations for applications, admin, authentication, content types, and sessions. Okay, they are asking run manage.py, sorry, python space manage.py migrate only. Okay, fine. So later I'll apply just a moment. Okay, first we have to do extensions installation is required. What are the extensions are? For the first time you are working with Visual Studio Code for Django projects. What are the main extensions are required means Python, Django. Yeah. So do you want me to change background color for visibility? So go to the settings in the left hand side corner. Settings menu is there. Go to the themes option and there is a color theme and select the light Visual Studio and the background is changed like this. Okay, as you wish. Now if you go to terminal, so this is the background, it's working fine. Okay, now I'm trying to do first extension installation. See, sir, if you are first time you are launching Visual Studio Code, okay, first time if you are launching your project in Visual Studio Code, you must and should install these extensions. I'll tell you what are the extensions you need to install. But in my case, it will not ask to install it, okay, because I have already installed in my computer for many Django projects which I am dealing currently for my previous batches. So the first extension you should install, there is an extension folder. Look at this in the left hand side, there is extensions. Click on it. Once you click on it, extensions will be open. In the search box, first type Python and then wait. Once you type Python and wait, there is a Python Microsoft Corporation. This is Python Microsoft. Okay. I strongly recommend this one. Click on it and install it. But look at this, for me, it is showing uninstall because already I have installed. For you, it will show install. Then click on install, wait for a few seconds, it will be installed. Download and install. Make sure this make sure that all these activities have to do with internet connection. So this is the first extension which I'm asking you to install. How do you know that whether installed successfully or not? Immediately your window will say that uninstall. That indicates that you have installed successfully. This is extension number 1. Okay. And next extension, go to the search again, DJANGO. Simply type DJANGO. And now you can see this is the DJANGO. First version, first option. Why this DJANGO? Because already DJANGO installed, right? Yes. The thing is, here you can see beautiful syntax and scoped snippet for DJANGO applications. Meaning is what? Whenever we type the logic and automatically in Visual Studio Code, DJANGO related code snippets will be populate. Means auto intelligence options. For that, I recommend to install DJANGO extension also. Okay. So this is the second extension, right? Click on install and automatically it will be installed. And extension number 3 is HTML. Type HTML and notice this HTML CSS support. This is the first extension which I recommend to install. In the extension search box, when we type HTML, you will be able to get HTML CSS support. So you can also install this extension. This is also for CSS and HTML intelligence. Because once we complete setup of Django and we will spend 1 week time with HTML, CSS, JavaScript, jQuery, Bootstrap discussion, right? So at that time, while writing HTML code, CSS code, JavaScript code, so you should get complete code snippets and intelligence options. In that context, I recommend you to install these extensions compulsory. So HTML, CSS extension is required, okay? At the same time, HTML boilerplate, a basic HTML5 boilerplate snippet generation. This is also required. Install it. So total extensions are these. Let me write in the notepad. First Python extension. Next Django. Next HTML and CSS support. Fine. SQLite. Yes. SQLite. We I think you people are able to see the screen. Yes. Next extension is SQLite. Type SQLite. So this is the SQLite and SQLite 3 Weaver also you have to install. Two extensions. Look at this SQLite I have installed and SQLite Weaver also need to be installed. So these are the extensions. SQLite and SQLite Weaver. This is for database management purpose we use. So total these extensions are required, sir. Python, Django, HTML and CSS support, HTML boilerplate, SQLite and SQLite Weaver only. So these extensions required to work with Django project with Visual Studio without having any trouble. Okay. So after installation of all the extensions, then go back to your Explorer. Here there is the Explorer option. Project menu will open now. Close this all windows what we have opened. So now here it's time to show you migrations, because just now when we go to the terminal, we got some warning, right? You have 18 unapplied migrations, that your project do not work properly until you apply the migrations. So what they are asking, apply the migration, Python space manage.py migrate. Okay. Uh, but when we apply migrate for the first time, you will get complete whatever the built-in applications are there with us, admin application, authentication, and content types. For all, migrations will apply, and based upon the application, tables will be created. So every application is having some internal tables. That tables will be created automatically. Let's see. I'm trying to go to the Control C means going back to the command prompt. CLS means clear screen, and try to apply the command Python space manage.py migrate only. That's it, migrate. So Python space manage.py migrate. Okay. Now press enter. Now you can see you will get the message like all okay, okay, okay. So all migrations have been applied successfully. For what applications? Admin, authentication, content type, sessions. All migrations are running successfully, and clear screen. Yes, CLS. And do you want to see with this migrate what changes are affected? So simply the changes are, you can see this in the left hand side, db.sqlite3 is there, right? Double click on it. So once you double click on it, and what you will see, open anyway option. Click on it. And in the immediately search box, SQLite3 viewer is there. Click on it. And you will see how many tables. Total 11 tables are there here. Okay. Total 11 tables. These are the tables exactly. Authentication group, authentication permissions, authentication user, all these tables only there. But I don't recommend to manage or maintain your db.sqlite3 tables in this window, because sometimes it is difficult to manage or see the data here. So that's what I am recommending you to install, download and install another tool, which is very simple tool, especially to manage databases separately, which should not make impact our Visual Studio Editor. In that context, I recommend to download and install DB browser for SQLite. So already I have a DB browser for SQLite in my computer. So I can uninstall first so that I can show you installation procedure again. For uninstallation, just simply I'm going to control panel, and there you can see uninstall program. And in the DB browser for SQLite is there already in my computer. Let's install quickly, sir. It's a lightweight third-party software tool, especially for managing the SQLite3 database. Okay, fine. It's preparing to remove. Let's remove first. Yes, it's removed. Now close this and try to download and install DB browser for SQLite. Let me go to the Google search, type download DB browser for SQLite. Look at this. Download DB browser for SQLite. Okay, click on this. And there, SQLite org. Now click on this, and you will be able to get these options. I am recommending you to click on third option, DB browser for SQLite standard installer for 64-bit Windows. Okay, this is third one. And you can see downloaded successfully, and it is ready to install it. Sometimes you will be able to see download pause. Pause means it will stop. Again, you can resume it. Okay. So after successful download of DB browser for SQLite, simply close and go to the downloads folder. It is a lightweight a third-party tool for managing our database, okay? And there is DB browser for SQLite. So double click on this executable file and look at this welcome to DB browser for SQLite setup wizard. Click on next and try to activate this checkbox. Click on next and desktop icons do you want? You can activate. Click on next and click on next and install it. As usual, it will ask you to, do you want to allow this app to make changes to a device? Say yes. Now you can see completed the DB browser for SQLite setup wizard. Click on finish. Now after finish, you will be able to see in the desktop SQLite DB browser SQLite only. Don't open DB browser for SQLite sidebar, okay? So DB browser SQLite, or else simply go to the search, type DB. Automatically you will see DB browser for SQLite. So when the moment I click on this, and you will be able to see this window, same type of window you will also get. And do you want to open your current project, DJANGO project 4PM database to manage the tables all here? There is an option called open database, and go to the location where your project has saved. So already I said that project has saved in users, computer name, folder name is what? DJANGO project, not DJANGO 4PM. Double click on it. Again, DJANGO project 4PM, double click on it. Why double click? Because in that we have a SQLite 3 database file, right? Double click on it. And notice this, we have a db.sqlite 3 and open it. And it will be launched here. Total 11 tables, what we have seen on the Visual Studio Code window, same tables are there. But any one of the table do you want to see? Suppose this is the main table. Generally, this table is having admin user details, okay? Admin panel, all these things. So when I right click on the table and browse table, click on browse table. We have a table, column, headings are like this only. Expand it, any table you can open like this DJANGO session or any table you can open it, no problem. So this is the way to manage your database table separately instead of managing here where in VS Code. Simply double click, open anyway, SQLite 3 viewer. Here also you can manage same table I'm opening, but it is typical to handle this tables and all here because in future we will manage here lot of other windows which is really important to us because you know that Django is completely depends on one architecture that is called MBT architecture, right? So MBT architecture means model we have to manage, views we have to manage, template we have to manage, all we have to manage here only. So multiple files and folders managing at one location is little bit complex. That's what for database purpose, at least we can manage separately. Or else do you want to manage here? You can do it, no problem. Okay, fine. So this is complete basic needs of Django project. What are the extensions? Like Python, Django, HTML and CSS support, HTML boilerplate and SQLite 3 Weaver and SQLite. These are the basic extensions. In future, any extensions required while working with applications that I'll also download and install. Okay, fine. Now you can see, go to the terminal now. Every time, so far we use 2 times Python space manage.py migrate, Python space manage.py run server. For running server, for migrate, every time manage.py I'm using. What is the use of manage.py? Look at this. This is a file, right? And double click on it and just check it. Why I'm using manage.py? Because it's having main method. So this is the main method of our Django project. Okay. So in this main method only our project settings have been included. Django project 4PM settings. Okay, operating system dot environment set of default and Django.core management. And these are the completely, if any errors are there, it will raise the exceptions. It will handle also. And main method I'm calling. So that's what every time do you want to run the server which is present DJANGO project 4PM in this operating system, this main method will starting point only. It is an entry point of your DJANGO project execution. That's what we are using manage.py only. Okay, fine. Now it's time to create an application. So we have only project. Project folder contains many applications, right? So application means like this. For example, in the settings.py, what are the default installed apps are there? Look, sir, default installed apps. This is only application. Contrib.admin, authentication, content type, sessions, messages, static files. Okay, fine. Let me create an application. What is the command to use to create an application means? Again, Python space manage.py space start app application name. Here we have to use. So any application name, you can use it, no problem. But this is common statement. Python space manage.py start app application name. Okay, fine. Let's close this. Let me go to the terminal again. And here I'm typing command, same command. I'm creating first application. Observe here. Okay. Uh, Python space manage.py space start app, and my application name is my first app. This is my name of the application. If you want, you can give any name of the application. It's not a matter. But generally, I don't recommend this type of names because according to the topic, the name of the application should be given. But later, whenever I start topic wise, okay, in Django, that names I can give. But this is a basic application. That's what I'm giving my first app. Python space manage.py space start app space my first app. Press enter and you can see you will get application name. You have successfully created application name. How do you know that whether my first app created successfully or not? In the left hand side panel, you can see in this Django project 4PM below, there is an application name my first app. So this is the way to create applications successfully. But let me check in the application. We have seen Django project 4PM folder, so many files. Okay, URLs are there, settings are there, everything is there. But what is there in my first tab by default, Look, see. Migrations folder is there. Initialization py is there. Admin.py is there. This file is can be used for administrative tasks, admin related actions we can perform using admin.py. Apps.py is there. And models.py is there. Test.py is there for testing your APIs or anything. And views.py is there. Notice that we have a models because just simply open it and check it. Create your models, they are saying. Okay. Models, MVT pattern, model view, template, right? Models we can create in models.py. Then view is nothing but views, Python logic. They are asking create your views here. Here we have to write our Python logic, right? But in MVT pattern, which is missing here, models is there and views are there to create models and views in this particular py file. Look at this, all are py files only, which Python related code. Which is missing, sir? Templates missing, right? Yes. So in MVT pattern, model, view, template, total 3-layer architecture. What we have discussed in my previous lectures, especially in the demo session. First demo session I included, right? M for model, which is completely data access layer, which is nothing but database. For that, we use SQLite3 database. V is nothing but business access layer. We are going to write complete logic. That logic should be in Python only. Template is nothing but presentation layer, means design, that is going to be UI basics only. But we are seeing models.py for model creation, views.py for views creation, but template is missing, right? Yes. So template creation purpose, what we have to do? Look at, sir. We have to create templates folder for every application. In future, in tomorrow onwards, we will go for many application creation. Total 30 applications might be it come and once we finish the Django at the end of the day. Every application should be present in the project folder. But every application is having models, views, test, admin.py like this only, common files. but template is not there. But template, how to prepare means you have to prepare templates folder separately. Remember how to prepare the template. Generally, most of the students, they'll do what? They can click on directly new folder here. They'll try to create a template folder. No. Sometimes the template folder, which is going to create in wrong directory. That's what I don't recommend the way of creating templates folder. How to prepare templates folder means look at this here. The surface area is the empty surface area. Click on it. Once you click on it, look at this total hierarchy is selected, blue line. And after that, click on new folder and give the name, folder name templates, TMPLATS. Press enter. Now it is exactly created in the root directory only, templates folder. Otherwise, it might go in my first tab. That is not correct, right? So templates folder is there. And templates folder for what purpose? It's purely for HTML pages. Okay. HTML, CSS, JavaScript, images, everything we can able to manage with templates only, no problem. Okay. But templates folder created, right? And make sure that once you create a templates folder here, immediately you have to go to DJANGO project folder settings.py and you must inform that to the DJANGO server. Otherwise, DJANGO cannot recognize that the template is there in templates folder. No, you will get template does not exist error. Okay. Yeah. And anything if you do changes, look at this. Just now I have changes what creating my application like first step, right? And templates folder also added. These two changes I did. This information I have to inform to Django server by going to settings.py. Look at this. Go to this project folder expansion, settings.py, and slowly come down. There is a templates directory is there. And in this template directory, dirs equal to colon square bracket is there here. So dirs colon within the square bracket, you must include your template folder name. Otherwise, there is a big problem again later. This must be required, sir. Okay. But look at this. Whenever I'm trying to do changes templates folder, okay, templates folder I'm including because I have added recently templates folder and I'm just come to the Django settings.py. Under templates directory, I have included templates name by using single quotes within the square bracket. But when I close this window, for me, it is not asking to save, but for you, it will ask you to save for sure. Because I have set auto save property in VS Code. So this is also very important. Don't forget to activate autosave. Autosave means look at this file menu. There is a autosave tick mark should be there. Or suppose when I click on it, look at this, there is no tick mark, right? If there is no tick mark, whatever you go, wherever you go in the settings folder or something, when we do changes, after leaving this window, it will ask you to save changes. Do you want to save changes you made to the settings.py? Compulsory have to say save every time. But by mistake, after writing plenty of code in any window, not only in settings.py, models.py, forms.py, like that, many files we will handle in future. Every time manually I have to save. But that I don't really recommend. So what I'm asking you, simply first time only you can do this. File menu, click on autosave. Once you click on autosave, then autosave is activated. How do you know? Means there is a tick mark is there. This is autosave. Once I select the autosave option, what will happen? Whenever I leave these settings, it will not ask you to save, automatically save this one. This is also important, sir. Don't forget to activate the autosave option, okay? And settings.py, I have included what? Templates folder, correct. But one more important settings you must do. Along with the templates folder you have created your first application also, right? My first app. So this also you must inform every time. Where we have to inform in the sense in the settings.py, look at this under installed apps. This is, remember, this is important, sir. Because every day, when the moment we create application, and every time we will come to the installed apps and include the application name here. So compulsory, these are the built-in applications, but here we have to inform the application name, my first app. Then only the Django server can recognize the request from your application. Okay, my first app. So comma I'm giving. Comma why I'm giving? In the next time when we create new application, directly next line if you go and include next application. Sometimes when they go next application like my second app, they don't include comma here. They forgot. Then Django can recognize my first app, my second app, both names are same application name. Then you will get an error. That's what clearly to avoid next errors, I recommend to give comma sign for the next application. Directly you can use it. Okay, sir. My first app is inform. Every time this is common, daily we will do. When we create new application, we have to come to here, install app and inform the app name. And every time next tomorrow, if I create my second app also you must inform to the Django server in the settings.py under install app. So these are very common settings. Okay, close this. And now we will focus on my first application, sir. So before that, I'm going to show you MVT diagram, model view control, model view template diagram. This is the diagram, closely observe. See, sir, this is the user. As a user, we need to send the request, right, to the Django server. And Django server can take user request and it will identify the URLs. URLs means uniform resource locator, or else we can say URI, uniform resource identifier. So it will identify or locate the URLs, means address, which view is user is looking to execute. That view will be execute, and this in this view we have to decide what to do. Either do you want to go to template or do you want to connect with model? Anything. Okay, sir. So this will decide, URL will decide. But for example, you can see this is the view. View is nothing but Python logic. And model nothing but database. It represent model itself. It's called not database. Okay. Model represent database. And template means UI, user interface. And notice this here, model and template both can never interact with each other. Means UI, design, user interface, database can never communicate with each other. If they want to communicate with each other, they must consult with what? View only. View is our hero. Means uh, it's act as a mediator, taking requests from the template and sending that request to the model and getting response from the model and sending that response back to the template only. See, sir, in general, in real time also, in every web development, user can do two activities, right? One is either he can store the data into database or he can get the data from database. Only two actions will be performed. Suppose you are the new to the Instagram, for example. If you are new to the Instagram, you have to create account. For that, what? You have to fill the details, username, password, mail ID, age, address, gender, and so on. And submit. Your details will go to this Instagram database. Later, if you forgot the database password, and you have to raise the request to the database, from database, we will read your password and get into the mail or phone number, phone like that. This is retrieval. So I'm saying that any web application development in any real-time applications, user can do two activities, either sending the data from our end to database or getting the data from back end to this database to our location like user interface. For that compulsory here view is required. For suppose here I'm sending the data from user interface. I want to store my details. First, where we have to fill the data in the template, right? Template means user interface, HTML form. Here we have to produce text boxes and all. In the text boxes, we have to enter the data and submit. That data will submit it to the view. View is nothing but Python logic. This view responsibility is what? Collecting the data from template data. Okay. And process the template data like user input, whether it is correct or not. If it is correct, view is going to responsible to send the data into model. Finally, model will store its database. This is in case template wants to see the data. Again, template will send the request to the view. That request same send back to the model. Model will collect the data from its server database and give back to the view. View is responsible to send back the data to the template from where we are sending request only. So view ultimately play the major role, sir. Okay, right. Let me show you a simple view execution how it is. View is nothing but Python code. So let's go to my first tab, double click on views, and they're asking me to create your views and you can define the views. Now tell me I'm defining the view. Generally in Python where we can use def keyword in functions, right? Yes. So I'm giving my function name is v1 and compulsory request is the first parameter and in the return response. So I would like to return HTTP response. Look at sir, HTTP response is a class. But the moment HTTP response class, when I write, it's showing underlined squiggly. That means this class is not available. So you know very well when the class is not available, then it's showing that underline red squiggly. Even I'm trying to give HTTP response. When I send request from my view and in a response, I need to get the response to my browser. Browser means client. Client and server can communicate with HTTP language, right? Hypertext Transfer Protocol. So in a response, I need to get this is my first view like this only. I need to get the response. But it is showing underline red squiggly. That means HTTP response class is not available. So if you are new to Django, do you don't know really this class is present in which library, simply place mouse pointer on it and there is a quick fix option is there. Quick fix. Click on it and they are asking add Django HTTP import HTTP response. Click on it. Automatically relevant library or module is included. So look at this from django.http import HTTP response class. Okay, this is one technique. Or else if you know already you are familiar with modules and all Django. So HTTP response class, you can write it. And from Django, intelligence will come. So Django.http import HTTP response. Like this, we can handle it. Or else more shortcut I'm giving. Instead of this one, easily we can use HTTP render after HTTP response also you can use it. It also work, no problem. Anything. Here also render comma HTTP response. It automatically collect from django.shortcut. Okay, v1 view is there in the return HTTP response. I have to go for this is my first view. See sir, this v1 is a name of the function. Yes, every view is nothing but one function. Function based views are there, class based views are there in Django. Later we'll come across class based views also. Now tell me according to the Python, you can think when we define a function, when function will start its execution, you know, when we call it, right? Yes. Where do we need to call this v1? According to the MBT pattern, you have to call the view from URL. URL means Uniform Resource Locator. Where is the URL? Generally in the application folder, there is no urls.py. Only when we create for the first time application, admin apps, models, test view only there. But URLs always there in the settings project folder only. Look at this. I'm expanding Django project 4 p.m. and there is a urls.py. Double click on it and there are a lot of stuff is there. Don't disturb that. Ignore it and only focus on URL patterns. In the list pattern, path is there. Admin/admin.site.urls automatically there. But I want to inject my view, v1 view here to execute. So next line you can come across, don't give the URL name within the single code, simply views.v1. Why you have written views.v1? Because my v1 view is present in views.py, right? Yes. Look at this views.py, v1 inside. That's what in the URL section I have written v1.views.v1. But remember this views should come from where? My first tab, right? But you are right now where? urls.py under project folder. But how project folder recognize that these views are coming from my first tab? So that's what we have to import the module. So modules are very important in Django. From my first app, import views. Now we can see error is gone. So I am importing views from my first app and this views.v1 I am calling. So next, what will happen, you know, whenever we start the server in the terminal, observe here, starting the server purpose, what we have to use? Python space, manage.py space, run server. You will get link, right? Yes. Now you can see you don't have any warnings. You have 18 unapplied migrations because we have already migrated. When the moment I click on this link, follow link, request directly goes to where, sir? Django server through URLs. Where is the URL? User, as a user, I am clicking on the link. It will go to server with the port number, IP address, and it will identify the URLs. Where are the URLs in the Django project? Yes, project folder URLs. It will go to here. But it is having two URLs. One is admin name, URL name is there clearly, and there is no name is there. So highest priority goes to no name of the URL. Immediately it will call views.v1. Yes, look this views.v1. Here view. This view is coming from my first application. V1 is going to be execute. But V1 is giving return response what? HTTP response back to user. Not template, sir. Template means it is a file, HTML page, but we are not generating pages. Later I'll show you. It is default response. View is giving response back to user only in a HTTP response. So let's see same thing. Whenever I run the server by hitting the link, you will get a response like this is my first view. Look this. It is in browser only. In the URL section also you can see 127.0.0.1 colon 8000. This is my first view. Instead of 127.0.0.1, you can also use localhost name. Look this, localhost. Okay. Yes, 8000 port number. But every time when I do changes, I should run server, sir. No, look at this, minimize this browser and do any changes in the view. For example, I'm changing my view because I want to bring into big size, font size. So I'm adding HTML section. Actually, this is not good practice. HTML and view logic both should not be in the same. But just for size increment purpose, I'm adding H1 section. H1 tag close. Means H1 means HTML. Later I'll start HTML also, don't worry. But look at this, when we go to terminal, automatically reload your server. Whatever you do changes, look at this, I'm closing the bracket. Again open. And terminal is reloading the server or not. Automatic updation and directly no need to click the link again and again. Already you have run the browser, right? In the browser. Just refresh. Now you can see this is big font size automatically affected here. This is my first view like this. Okay. So this is the result how we are getting like view, how it is executing through URL section and View is giving response like HTTP response, but View is not rendering the template. Okay, render template we'll discuss later. So we can see render is deactivation now. I am not using. Do you want to display separate page? Then we can use render method actually. If multiple views are there, how to handle request and response? If multiple applications are there, how to handle request and response? This we will discuss in the tomorrow demo session. Tomorrow is not demo, so this is the last demo. In tomorrow session, we'll continue remaining things. Okay. So this is total setup. I request you please ready up to here. Okay. Uh, Tomorrow we'll continue where I'm stopping now. You'll get more clarity in the URLs, application level URLs, project level URLs, all these things clearly. Okay. Who are my students already opted in the initial stage Python full stack? You need not to worry. Immediately you will get a link before tomorrow session. And by today night, you will get total 3 video lectures along with the DJANGO PDF material. This is the material. Complete DJANGO PDF material and 3 video lectures folder you will get in your Google Drive. If you opted full stack only, sir. But you are, even though if you are my student, uh, what we can say, if you opted earlier only Python and you must enroll again for Django, that enrolled students only will get a link and as well as access of videos and PDF. And somebody extremely uh, other students who are not my students in the Python development, no problem. If you are new to this session, please watch my 2 demo lectures of Django. Especially yesterday session is very important because I have conducted yesterday complete Django project setup, how to download and install step by step by following 10 steps I followed. So finally we launch VS Code and then you will get understand clearly. And before tomorrow's session, if you want to continue my lectures with the DJANGO framework, REST API framework, FLASK, you must and should enroll. Only enrolled students get the link and access all these things. For more details, please contact DURGASOFT. They'll assist you regarding that. Okay. Yeah. If you have any question, you can feel free to ask me now.
Hello, sir. Good evening.
Good evening.
Sir, could you please give some insights over what are the projects you are going to cover down to the course? List of
Projects
projects.
means
List of
list
projects.
of list of projects means
I,
CRUD operations. Yeah, let
no, no,
me
no.
complete.
I mean, domain specific.
Domain specific means all the basic operations only, not in details. What we can say, user profile. Like, see, sir, in Django or
Mm,
REST API, whatever the topics we will be covered, by covering
mm,
all the topics, we will make it one project. That might be in different ways, but three, four projects are completely different style. Each and
I, I
one
mean, for
project
job
not.
perspective, so that we can keep that in resume. So that's why I want to ask. Have
That's
some.
correct. That's correct. That's correct. So simply we can say image uploading, resume uploading, file downloading, file transferring, and CRUD operations against the database with the Bootstrap,
Mm-hmm.
CRUD operations with without HTML form, only Django forms. So these kind of images uploading and display back the images into the Bootstrap format. This type of applications or projects we will design and develop. See, sir,
Mm.
do you need to put the experience or as a fresher?
No, for experience purpose, I'm looking for, sir. That's why I have asked
Mm.
this question.
That's what actually experience purpose. You should not put any projects in the resume, right?
Okay.
Instead of
Okay,
that,
that's fine. I'll
from
understand.
that's what. Instead of that, you have to write roles and responsibilities of your previous company. What was your role instead of putting the
Mm-hmm.
projects? I strongly recommend these hands-on projects, what I'm going to discuss in our class, for exclusively for fresher candidates.
Okay, okay,
Mm. That
it's okay,
that
sir.
that they can claim that I have real-time hands-on experience that. But you
Mhm.
are already experienced, you are saying, but you need not to show these projects because these projects don't have any clients, right? So you are developing your experience purpose only. You are implementing your own logic, but you are not
Mm,
hand over these products and all to any client, right? That's what in your previous company, whatever the projects you are dealing, that people are having clients, and you can easily claim that you have real experience. You who is your client means if you are in a position to tell them also clearly.
right, sir. It's okay, sir.
Mm.
Thank you.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So that's all for today. And before tomorrow session, you will get a link, that is GoToMeeting link. All enrolled students, please join in that link continuation sessions. Okay. Yeah. Please contact DurgaSoft for enrollment process. They'll assist you regarding that. Have a nice time.